Well, welcome YouTubers. Today we're going to be talking about the track matte key, this guy right here. And if you haven't used a track matte key, I've seen a whole bunch of tutorials online that pretty much show you the basics of the track matte key. But I'm going to take it a step further to show you how you can animate masks, to feather masks, put text in there and feather and all that good stuff. And it's actually very easy. I've been doing it for quite some time. And I would like to share with you my little tricks that I use that keeps me from going outside of Premiere to go to a secondary program like After Effects. So all you have is Premiere. You can do a lot of this stuff in Premiere without having to go to After Effects or having to buy a secondary program like DaVinci Resolve, plugins, and all that good stuff. So let's get started and I'll show you the wonders of the track matte key. Okay, so for our first example, boys and girls, we're going to use this particular scene. This is some fountains with a sky, and we're gonna make it look a little more beautiful. We're gonna have the sky looking nice and orange, and we're gonna have the sky's color reflecting onto the water. And this is where the track matte key comes in very handy, because you would not be able to do this effect without using the track matte key. And the reason why is because there's just not too much separation in the highlights which you want to have going around this water to make it look like it's going into the water, reflecting out and looking nice and beautiful. So let's go ahead and check out this clip real quick. Haha, okay, a little too far there. So let's give you a quick example why this will not work by just using one layer and using the 3-way color correction. And you'll see very quickly why that does not work. So grab these, not the track matte. Let's go ahead and paste them in here. And right there you can see how it's just, let's go to fit, how it's just not going to work. There's looks like the sky are having an Armageddon effect going on here. And that is because we're adjusting the highlights there. The highlights and the midtones and the shadows, there's not enough separation to do this. So we're going to keep that one down as our base layer, and that's going to be just for the water. So we're going to make a track matte key real quick, and I'm going to show you what I use for my track matte key to do my keying. So I'm going to do a new color matte, and we're going to let it match our sequence settings. And it does not matter what color you use in here, because we are just going to borrow the alpha. It can be black, blah 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 blah. So we'll click OK, and we're naming this matte. Matte 2. I already have one in there called mask, one in that matte 2. So let's go ahead and pop that on there. And I'm going to put this in layer 3. It does not matter where you put it as long as it is above the actual video that you want to keep. And I like to name it mask. So I'm using Premiere Pro CC, which is their newest one. It does have some bugs, I will warn you guys, but to pull this up, you're going to have to click on the mask to rename it. Okay, and speaking of rename this. I forgot an E. Boom. E. I know we don't rename that now, someone on YouTube is going to holler at me and make fun of me. So I fixed it. How about let's just rename this to F off. There we go. I like that better. Let's get rid of that. Make sure it says F off. Alright. So let's show you how the actual animated masks work. And it's very easy. I'm going to give you guys the gist, and then I'm going to copy what I have over here and paste it into this layer, so that way I don't tie you guys up for that much time. So let's go ahead and go over here, video effects. We're going to go to key, and I'm just going to do a 8-point garbage matte. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to fit. No, we're already in fit. Let's go with 50. That's not small enough. There you go. 25. And right here, this is where we're going to make our mask. So let's go ahead and move these to the side. Get more points up top. And you can see there's 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16. There'll be twice as much. And that's pretty much the extent you have as far as masks that you can animate in Premiere. They do not have any spline mask that you can create your own splines like in After Effects yet. I really hope one day that they include that into the newest versions of Premiere coming up. Hear me, Adobe? I'm asking you for this. It'd be pretty awesome. So, oops, let's pretty easy to click off of that by accident. Let's go ahead and go to frame 1 of our clip and give a keyframe for all these guys. Probably don't need to keyframe the bottom ones, but I'm not sure which ones are what now that I moved them around, because the top left is not top left, top center is now not top center. You get the idea. So let's go ahead and go over our outline of the foreground. We'll go there, and we'll go all the way to this frame, and we'll pull it down some more. And that is pretty much how you animate your masks in Premiere. But if somebody's saying like, whoa, it's not feathered, there is no feather option here. I'm going to put it to you just like that, but it's very simple to feather it, because we are using this as making our alpha that's going to generate the alpha channel for our mask in whatever layer we choose for the track matte key to be on. So all you got to do is go to blur, fast blur, and crank it up. And then you have a nice feathered edge. Now you see right here our slider only goes to 127, but we can go above and beyond 127 like 300. And let's go ahead and repeat edges so we're not getting that stuff on the edges. If you don't repeat edges, you'll see this is going to feather into our mask. So let's go ahead and click that on. And there you go. We have an animated mask in Premiere. That's nice and feathered and will work beautifully. So now that you have the idea how to make this work, I'm just going to delete this one, and I'm going to copy the one that I spent a little more time on before into this layer. And let's go ahead and pop it up. And there we have it. Okay, so let's turn this purple abyss into an actual key. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go back to our effects, go to keying, and we're going to select the track matte key. Right here. And we're going to choose, oops, I had it on the wrong layer. How careless of me. Mask. And now you have it. We are now keying out some of the sky. And it's nice and feathered. And this is actually transparent there, so I've already put anything in there, like another layer. So let's go ahead and take this and just copy it up. Use Alt, copy it up. Get rid of what's there. Track matte key to sharpen, blah, blah, blah. And let's grab my color grading I did in the sky. And that looks to be it right there. Let's put it right here. Let's swap these out though. Oops. Doing the wrong layers here. And there you have it. This is going to be our foreground layer, and this is going to be our background layer. And they're nice and keyed out. And that is the track matte key when using it in color grading. A very, very useful tool to have whenever you want more control over your image. So let's get on to our next example. Okay, so let's get on to our next example. We're going to make a custom vignette using the track matte key. And here's our base clip. Those damn mice just piss you off sometimes. And there's our custom vignette. So we are going to drag a mask in here first, like so. And let's go to our effects. I'm going to drag this up here. Kind of have to work backwards in these masks for some reason. Maybe I just think backwards, I don't know. So let's go to our king, and we're just going to use a 4-point garbage mask, and sorry, garbage matte, and we are going to move this around. And if you want to animate it, you can still animate it. And here's a kind of a custom vignette. Now, if you want more control over it, of course, just grab either an 8 or a 16 point to have more control over it. Let's make it look kind of weird, like a diamond. I like that. All right, there we go. And let's go here, and let's grab a track matte key, and we're going to choose our mask. And there we go. So we'll have this on the top layer and the bottom layer. Let's go ahead and copy this down, Alt key. And this one, let's get rid of the track matte. And this one we're going to, let's just do a RGB curves as an example. Darken up our background. Something nifty like that. Let's see here. Make it a little angry red. Yeah, there we go. Put a little blue in the shadows. A little more blue. And whatever, that's fine. Let's go to our mask, and we're going to now feather it by doing a fast blur. We don't need to repeat edges in this because there's no edges to repeat. And we're going to blur it up. If that's not enough, go above and beyond 300. And we have a custom vignette that is easy to change. So if you don't like that, you can just do this. And we can adjust the way it looks to your heart content. And like I said before, you want more than 4. Just pick a garbage mat that has more than 4. And that's pretty much your vignette example. Very useful. And now for our last example, we are going to move on to text. So here's our base clip. And what we're going to do is this. Text. Yeah, kind of cool, right? And I'm sure you probably know already how this works. We're just going to use a text layer that we can edit. And this works really well because we are just stealing alphas for our track mat key. Anything that has an alpha, you can use that for. So we're going to put our text in there. And I have a time lapse right here. Let's go ahead and copy this. It's right here. Get rid of everything. There we go. Let's drag this in here. So we want to key that out. So we're going to use track mat key. Select our layer to key, and then we have our text keyed out. And of course, if you want to add a drop shadow in there, drop shadows are only produced from an alpha. So if you put that in the bottom of the stack, let's see, let's go to video effects, perspective, there it is, drop shadow. And then we have a drop shadow that we can put wherever we like. A little darker, soften it, and voila, there we have it. And what's really nice about all this, if you use your real-time effects, which I am doing, you can use the Mercury playback engine to give you some really good performance. And then we can take our text, let's say, and we can animate it. So let's start from here. Position, scale, and rotation. Start from here. Move it in like so. And it will animate with the mask and all that good stuff. And say you want to blur it, of course. Pop a fast blur on there. Go to frame 1, blur. Let's make this stupid big, like 200. Ooh, too big, 200, and then it'll come in right here to like 0. So you have a nifty, oh, what is that? It's scary to text. And there you have it. Well, that's pretty much the mask in Premiere. It's a very powerful tool once you know how it works, and I hope this helps you. And like always, don't forget to subscribe. And like I always say, a peace out.